Devlogs. They can be funny, inspirational, informative, and everything in between. My videos on YouTube are obviously the best, so I'm going to teach you how to devlog. Please don't take any of this seriously because I have no clue what I am doing. The introduction to your devlog video should be pretty short and quick. On YouTube, people have attention spans less than 3 seconds, so you gotta pull in the viewers quickly. Saying that, there are still some important things that you should probably cover. Even if you're making a series of videos, make sure to say the name of the game, the genre of it, and even its main selling point. If you're making a devlog on a game jam entry, it's also a good idea to say the name of the jam. Here is the intro to one of my Minima devlogs for reference. Hey everyone, this is my 2D platformer called Minima. It's very simple, it's very minimalistic, and it's time to work on the art. And you can see that right after the intro, it went directly into the main focus of the video. In this devlog, I was focusing on creating artwork, scenery, and landscapes, and so I wanted to get that towards the audience as soon as possible. I even did this before the main intro with a little music sequence and shortcuts of what the game was now looking like. This definitely isn't essential to have, but I really like showing how my game has progressed along the time of the devlog. Quick tip number 1. Record gameplay of your project whenever you make something new. Whether it's a new mechanic, a funny bug that you want to share, or anything else, I'm sure you'll find a place for it in your video. The more footage you have, the better your devlog will be. So now we're getting into the real meat of your devlog. At this point, you might be around 30 seconds into the video. When you're making games, you're obviously going to be coding quite a lot. However, for a lot of people watching YouTube, they either don't understand programming languages, don't understand the programming language you're using, don't like the programming language you're using, or have deadened their nerves by looking at Visual Studio for 32 hours a day. Now, I'm definitely not saying that showing code in your videos is a bad thing. We all work very hard on our coding and we should be able to show it off. So unless you're making a super technical video showcasing the ins and outs of your game, I advise that you only share small portions of code in the video. This avoids people getting overwhelmed and swamped with information and keeps them entertained and engaged in your content. At least, I think so. If you have a big system or algorithm that you want to show off, that is a really great idea as well, but I think a good way to do this is more visually rather than textually. If you're making an AI to get an enemy to chase down a player, it's as simple as showing the gameplay on screen and talking about how you went about putting it together. Personally, I don't show a lot of my code in my videos, mainly it's because I'm embarrassed by my extreme lack of optimizing code, but I'm still all for self-improvement. But for sure, yeah. Quick tip numero dos. Don't be afraid to use humour in your videos. Making jokes and using memes is a great way to keep your viewers engaged in your devlog, but don't go overboard with it like I do sometimes with the nice. More often than not, if you're creating artwork for your game, it will usually take a while. You're either creating a big tile set with lots of different sprites or working on a singular player character or animation. So because you're spending so much time making these graphics, a time lapse is usually a great way to go. They're very easy to put together, just speed up a clip 3, 5, 10 times faster and you have yourself a really awesome montage. This also goes for world building, level design and anything else that takes up a lot of your time. Time lapses are great for things that are very visual as your audience can see each piece coming together in a fun and exciting way. If you're creating a series of devlog videos, it can also be really cool to compare your project from where you started from and where you ended up. And you can even do this in a single video. It shows a great deal of progression and leaves an impact on people who are watching your devlog. It will give them inspiration and motivation for them to work on their own projects. Quick tip number 3. Stay organized as much as you can. Keep all of your gameplay videos in a folder that's easy to find, so when you're editing your devlog together, you can easily get all of your footage in one place. Also, name your video file something that's slightly relevant to what the clips are about. You may not realize this, but a big focus on all devlog videos are on game design and game feel. Basically, why do the things in the game do what they do, and how does the player know that's why it's happening? This could be anything from creating particle effects to screen shape to the interactions that the player has with NPCs. This aspect of a devlog video can be really difficult to share without proper footage, so it's critical that you have the gameplay clips of this. Then talk about why you added these features into the game and how it impacts the project as a whole. Don't feel that you have to share all of your successes either. Showcasing where you have gone wrong and the weaknesses in your game will only make you a better developer. It shows that you know that there are problems with the game you're making and hopefully you found or will soon find a solution. For me, I try to make my videos feel very personal and human, and so I do share a lot of bugs that I come across and the suffering that I go through making pixel art. Quickle tip 4. While you're making your game, think of what you want to talk about in your devlog video. As soon as you know, write a small note down on a pad or on a Word document or whatever, just so you can refer back to it when you actually start making the devlog. This way, you won't forget it and you will most likely create a more sincere video. Music is a pretty important part of game development, but not everyone chooses to make their own music tracks for their games. If you do, though, it can be a very different and cool thing to add into a devlog video, but also quite niche. You can go about this in two main ways. Show each step of how you make the music, or just share what the final piece is. Obviously, you won't share the entire song, but just a small snippet of it. I really enjoy music composition and production, and so I like seeing each step, but I know that a lot of people don't find it that interesting. It's really up to you, but I think it's a good idea to show at least a small clip of the music in whatever program you're making it in. It just shows the work that you've put into it, and it can be a nice break from the more technical sides of game development. That's all the stuff my tiny corn kernel brain can handle, but I'm going to lightning round some quick tips and tricks to end off this video. Use sound effects in your videos when dynamically switching clips or adding some new graphics on the screen. Don't go overboard, but it's a nice touch. If you want, ask your audience to subscribe to your channel and to like the video. Please subscribe to my channel and like the video. Thank you. Don't have the same gameplay clip up looping for more than 25 to 30 seconds. It can get pretty boring and you want to switch around what you're showing on screen. Speak confidently and clearly. This is something that I'm definitely still working on, but it's a massive factor in how people will view your content. Finally, stop watching this video. Go make your own devlog right now. Stop procrastinating. Go and do it, you silly goose. Thanks for watching this video everyone, I hope it helped you out, and a massive thank you to my Patreon supporters, especially DerpyDino35, Diamond Dev and Gunst. Thank you, and I'll see you all in the next video.